All right. So on my end, it looks like we're potentially live. So
Huh?
let's do
If I need to tell, I will tell people that I'm live with you. And what if I want to link? Um, I will link your Twitter page.
I would say the YouTube. I'm gonna get that to you right
Oh
now.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, because unfortunately the Twitter page got weird, so I deleted it. So right now the main place is gonna be the YouTube because that's where the show is anyway. So let me get that to you right now. I'll send it to you in the TikTok. That works. Twitter. Sorry. Yeah, I'll send it to you there. There we go. Hold on. All right. Nice. That was a good one. You okay? Why is it? I'm trying to like. I don't think it. Let me know if that went through. I don't know if that's coming in the way I.
Let me check. Press for time.
Is it a link or is it just like a button? I mean, like, so
You,
weird.
you
Because I'm
just send me nothing. You just send me press for time, YouTube, nothing more than that.
like, if you click it, does it do anything?
Nope. Try to
What?
give me the
Yeah,
URL.
that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
The URL. URL.
Let me know if that works. Do it the old fashioned. I'm so used to copying and pasting everything. It just gets a little crazy. Oh, Tyler, my co-host, just replied. He said, "I'm watching live. What's up, buddy?" So
Oh.
at least we know it's working. So that's a good sign. So I guess we have Tyler watching. People will start coming in. This is impromptu. This was formally planned as an offline show, but we're gonna have a little fun with it because I have my buddy on the other side of the world that creates crazy stuff like I do. Stefano likes to spell his name different every show, which is fantastic, you know. But welcome, my friend. How you been? Good to see you formally.
So you can see us because if I copy paste the link, it gives me what it gives. It tells this page isn't available. Sorry about that. Try searching for something else. But maybe it's just me.
Let me type because it's probably I didn't add the stupid what do you call it? All the HTTPs and the the nipples and all the weird stuff.
Oh yeah. But if I open YouTube, I should see your channel. By the way, in the
Yeah,
way of
yeah.
things.
So I'm copying a link from freaking Google, which should work better. Yeah, I think this will work better for you. Let me know if it comes through. Oh my god, it's so stupid. If I sent it more than one time, forgive me.
Oh yeah, now I can see it. Okay, okay, yep.
Cool. So that should work.
Okay, I'm making the post so everybody can see.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know which platform you prefer on your side to go live because I know you post mostly on Twitter, Facebook, right? For the most part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even Instagram, but it's less engage. The people engage less in Instagram,
Right.
and even in here.
I was also gonna see. So the one thing I haven't recording. Oh, I was gonna open up comments. There we are. Okay. Tyler, thank you. I see. He says I can hear you. Both fine if that helps. It really does. And he said, Benny, Stefano, sorry I couldn't make it, but I'll be watching from here. Yeah, like I had asked him to jump on, but I know he had other stuff going on, and we just planned this. So Yeah,
Yeah.
but let me know when you feel like you're good on your side
Yeah.
and we can
Let's
get chit
go.
chat. Cool. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome for anybody that's coming in. This is not planned, but what the hell? Let's just have some fun here. Again, we got Stefano here from a very special side of the world that made a little game called Cookie Cutter that I've probably had on the show more than one time, and that's okay because he is welcome anytime. So welcome, welcome,
Thank you, my
welcome.
man.
Yeah, hope all is well. I know that we have seen a lot of posts going on, a lot of exciting stuff coming your way. You love to be mysterious, you love to get people asking questions, and I figured we have a great place where we can finally maybe touch on some of that stuff. But before we do that, I want to just know what have you been up to? You know, we're heading close to 2 years of Cookie Cutter.
Yep.
I remember the last time we did a show after the anniversary, so we missed it. Now we went way too early, so we're not hitting the ball there, but it's coming. I'm excited for it. 2 years. You started off with this little dream of hand drawn, animated, Metroidvania inspired game that was really more. You had different words to describe it. It was the opposite of Metroidvania, but
Hmm.
you've come a long way since, and you've expanded the game, in my opinion, in a tremendous way, knowing that you have a very small development team. Your team has done a remarkable job. We have voice acting in the game. We have, potential other content coming. We have our Overkill edition that has made it over to the Switch and Steam. But yeah, what have you been up to since? Are you still just at the grind? Are you doing anything else for fun? Have you been able to
No.
relax a little bit?
Yeah, no, no more grind. I had a really long period of relaxing, resetting, restoring, restarting. And yeah, it was 2 years after release. As you said, we released Overkill Edition. And it was really cool to have the voice actors on board. It was really cool to have all the game voice acted by these beautiful, talented people. And now I'm thinking about the next step, the next phase. Let's see what is happening. I got some ideas, I got some plans, but at the moment I need to focus into taking back the product and try to, start not from scratches, starting from when we left, going forward in an efficient way, because we still weren't able to release a patch for Overkill that had its own problem on Switch, and we never been able to release Overkill in all of the other platforms. So that is priority number uno, and after that I can start making other things, but first I want to make that good. I want to fix that because it's still suspended and it's making me feel uncomfortable, that it's out there and it's not fixed and it's not polished as it should be, you know but it's
Understood.
cool, it's fine. It was 2 super fun years. I'm really happy about people's reception of the game. It's a really polarized game. People hate it, people love it. There is no middle, there is not, middle points. It's two extremes. And I like this thing. It's chaotic. It's make people make a mess about it. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things we've talked on the show before, but it really comes down to people are talking about it for better or worse, and the experience is going to vary because, again, it is also in certain genres that not everybody is a fan of. I think that I see a lot of support and love for the art style. I think that's one of the big things that's a standout, and the fact that your animations are hand drawn, and there was a demand a while for different skins for Cherry, and you explain the pain points that would take to animate each and every individual cell for that, and
Yeah,
it's a painstaking process, and again, you're doing this by hand, the
yeah,
human way. We're in a
yeah.
world now, I don't think we've ever really touched on the world of AI. We don't have to dive deep, but this is a part of our lives in the creative space where it's important to differentiate what's being done with these
Yeah,
and not prompts.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
this is not a war against AI or anything like
No, no,
that.
no.
This is more of a subjective approach thinking about, the value that we take as creators and artists and putting in that time to create that vision. And again, if people have the tools and the means to make things easier, whether it be AI or it be tools,
Hmm.
I understand that,
Yeah.
but here you're doing something that you were able to show the process early on. You did it for years prior to the launch of the game, and I think that speaks volumes to the work that you put in. So now that we're approaching 2 years, we've had the game with several patches. We've talked about the realistic shortcomings of the launch. Again, putting a lot of stress on your team and yourself to fix those things on. You tackled that stuff straight away. You were consistent with it. The game continues to grow and evolve. Um, I've had the pleasure of playing, pre-launch, during launch, playing the Overkill edition, and seeing just how much the game has grown, but also seeing the fandom grow.
Hmm.
I commend you for having over 10,000 followers on Twitter, X, whatever the hell we want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Twitter.
that's that's the biggest battle, right? It's just
To
calling this
remember.
damn thing whatever the hell it's supposed to be. But just having that consistent relationship with the fans on the regular and seeing how dedicated some of them are, people that it creates, everything. And we have someone watching Twitter. Nobody calls it X. Facts. Thank you for that. Um, but yeah, that's really what it's about. But we definitely wanted to do this show a little different because we also wanted to give our fans, your fans, a chance to communicate in the chat. So I can see on the YouTube side, I believe Stefano has his side if he wants to be able to reach out and talk to anybody. But if anybody has any questions, we can maybe pick a couple, while we're going through our conversations, and happy to talk about that stuff. He does see both. So for sure, if there's anything there that anybody wants to talk about. But I'd like to talk a little bit about the Overkill edition because that
Yep.
was the last show that we did. We talked about when that was on the way in, and as far as what we have now for the Steam and the Switch release, is that all the content that we can expect on the other consoles coming forward? Is there more to come with that? Can you talk about anything that you're?
Sure. Sure. No, the plan is to, as I said before, first thing first, I would like Overkill to be in all of the consoles. Even if now, because I am solo, I don't have any more the powers of QA and porting. What is porting? Porting is when you finish your game and you, for example, working on the PC version of your game, there is somebody or you, the developer itself, who took the game and porting to the console. So when you need to do the game for PlayStation, you need to port it for PlayStation. And sometimes you need to rewrite code, you need to do particular stuff for PlayStation, you need to do it for Microsoft, for Xbox, and you need to do for Nintendo. And every time you need to work a little bit and change the game a little bit, change something in the code. And after that you do that, you need to test it. And for testing it, you need the developer's kit, those shitty things that you buy that allows you to test the game before releasing it. Now that I'm alone, I need to pay for all of this. So I'm pretty sure that what I'm doing right now is to take Overkill Edition and put out the patch that fixed the stability for the crashes for Switch that we fixed back in March, but we weren't able to push it out there. So I would love to port it on PlayStation 5, and I don't know about it, Xbox. I would like to, but maybe now that I'm solo, maybe I need to drop Xbox because it's one of the console that I hate the most personally. So it's like I don't give a shit about Xbox, but it's not true. Let's see if I can do it, because again, I need to spend a lot of money now to do everything for the game because I'm doing it by myself. So I need to be really careful and to be really aware of the cost, both in workload and money wise. But I got plan. I want my game out there to be as polished as possible, and the last patch is super polished, and it's a shame that it's not out there. Another things that I would like to do, and that I'm doing right now, I built this that it's called the divorce plan. That is like an attack plan that shows you what I will do in the future with the game. Another things that I would like to do is update the other minor store like GOG and stuff like that, because back at time the PC version of the game was updated just on Steam, was something super stupid, and not in the minor store. So there are people who bought the game, I don't know, let's say GOG or other, I don't know, other stores, then
Okay.
they still got the precedent version to overkill, and that makes no sense. I want all of the version for PC to be overkill and updated. So again, what I'm doing in these days is taking control back of my property 100% and update everything in order to give to everyone the game as it should be. That is the plan.
No, I thank you for the transparency because I think that, as somebody that now, having my previous work with voice acting and composing, I've seen what you're going through, and we've talked about that on the show too. Of these are kind of things that are not very vocal in the world of gaming, and the industry tends to keep this stuff like tight-lipped, and I
Yeah,
understand that, but I think your fans will appreciate the open and honesty, and it's important as an indie developer and knowing that all of this stuff takes a lot of work and people don't understand what it takes to create the product, but then to revise and then have to do all these little things. And porting is one of the biggest underspoken aspects of game development. And when
yeah,
it comes to indie games, 90% of them start on Steam. A lot of them have to reside on Steam because of the cost and the
yep,
resources that it takes to port. So
mhm,
that's a really important factor. So console players, on the PlayStation side, be patient. This is something that takes time and resources, and we're happy to hear that it's in the works. It's a thought process that you want to get done, and the overall goal is to make everybody have the same version across the board. And
yep,
again, we have so many digital PC stores like GOG and Epic Game Store, and it just goes on and on. And there's a process for everybody. So,
yeah,
I thank you for taking the time to acknowledge that. And to me, it gives me a better sense of where you are and what the expectation is. Because again, I think a lot of times when the casual side of social media is posting for a game or a publishing side of things, uh, transparency is not always there,
yep,
and I understand because you have logistics and things
mhm,
like that come into play. But when you can kind of go a little extra mile to just explain what that process is,
yeah,
I think the people that care about
yeah,
so
yeah.
thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm still not considering myself like a video game company. I'm considering myself like a dude making things with some friends. And so I'm trying to be as clearest as possible, even on social media, to have communication. And sometimes it's even wrong to be this open. Sometimes it's better to be,
Yes.
more professional and stuff. But I don't care. This is the way I do things. They can be wrong. This is the way I would like to do things, and so it's
Right.
fine. I will try to keep it open. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and I think we're a good partnership with that because my goal is to not have this turn into kind of like an angry fest of just like kind of talking about the bad side of business, because it's
Yeah,
not really, that's not what this is. This is more of the pride and the ownership of being a creator, putting out a product,
yeah,
working with collaboration with potentially other companies that at the end of the day, sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes
yeah,
you really want to do things your own way, and solo sometimes is the only way, but
yeah,
it's the hard way, and
yeah,
people
yeah,
don't realize that doing everything yourself. And when I say yourself, I mean the small team. Again, this is not about me, this is not about you, this is
yeah. No,
about
no.
Subcult Joint as a whole putting all their time and their resources into doing something that's important, and the process that it takes. So
Yep.
again, thank you for being honest. That's all I think the fans want at the end of the day. But you don't owe it to anybody to do that. So you're going the extra mile, in my opinion. So thank you.
Thank you, my man. Thank you.
Yeah. We do have a question in the chat if you'd like to take that. If you, I don't know if you see it. If not, I could read it out.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Have you considered opening the game for Steam Workshop? Modes and such. Yeah, definitely. I think that it's a really tough game to mod because you don't take a 3D model and replace it with, I don't know, a naked girl with giant boobs and a huge ass, and you have all of the animation already made. In here, you need to redraw all of the things. And even if I would really love it, I don't think there is nobody out there crazy enough to redraw Cherry with another costume. If somebody want to do it, you have my blessing. I would love to see that, but it's really tough to redraw everything. But I'm always open to community modes. Back at time, I encourage people that was modding the game. There was a guy modding the game, making it like with a cheating code. You can have endless HP, endless void, and he put out there this mod, and I reshared it in the social media. I like that shit. If people is doing it, I love it, and I will support it 100%. I will support everything. If you want to do side project related to the game, everything you want to do. I really don't give a fuck about intellectual property. So if you want to take a piece, a character, and do whatever you want with it, do it. It's fine for me. I love it. It's about this game being a living creature by itself. It's not about ego, about me doing things. I don't care about this shit. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's very true. I mean, I would definitely say, what do you an out of the box approach for somebody that's not really familiar with the modding aspect of like what goes into it? But
Yeah,
my thought is someone not necessarily breaking the game, but the idea of, let's say they took Cherry as a character, design them in a different way, different type of animation cells. Let's say they kind of go the Mugen approach, if you're familiar with
yeah,
Mugen.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
They take that fighting game mentality where you can kind of just pick out,
yeah.
throw in. It doesn't necessarily fit. The character would look weird in the game, but they find
Oh
a
yeah.
way. Like, I think that could be really cool and embracing.
Yeah, I think
But
that's doable actually. Yeah,
yeah,
if
because
you have
like,
already the
the different
fight scheme,
style.
yeah, yeah, and you load it in game, I think that's doable. I don't really know how this is working, but I think
Right.
it's doable. I think it's doable.
Well, our commenter. So I apologize. I don't want to say your name wrong. The Krauser Lulls 4611. Thank you for the engagement. We appreciate it. We'll get to your second question real quick. I just want to say that when it comes to the modding, they mentioned that people are that crazy. And I do believe that, because you have a couple of your fans that have gone on to make their own lore. They've gone in and you've loved it and embraced
Yeah,
it, creating
yeah,
other characters. So
yeah,
the sky's the limit.
yeah,
Um, I'll do a shameless plug because I think we've done it before, but like, to give you a different aspect, my artist Juan and I, you also know Juan, we had our own interpretation of Cherry. And
uh-huh,
like, the reason that this came up to me is I was thinking about like that style, somebody kind of taking that, pixelizing it a little bit versus just having, a one-to-one match of Cherry's animations. Because
super
again,
cool.
you have so many, but somebody could just do that. They could take inspiration from a different art style and find a way. They can take Symphony of the Night, like it has a certain
Yeah,
type of uh shading and cell structure that they could just take her character, kind of repanel the colors, giving people ideas. But I'm not the one that makes that happen. I would love to see it too. So that could
yeah,
be
me
awesome.
too.
Throwing in other boss battles, like just in random places. I
Yeah,
know
that shit is crazy. That shit is super cool. I love that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, we love to hear it. So the other question was Cherry crossing over into other games, indies or others. I'm a sucker. I'd love that. What do you think? Like, let's say I'm trying to think of just a random game, like
There was this indie game. They're taking indie games and they make fight against each other. I saw the other day, I don't know, not even the name of the studio or the name of the game, but I saw this guy put in Octodad. It's kind of Super Smash Bros.
Smash
Melee
Brothers.
approach, but with indie characters. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I'm super open to all of those things. Again, now that we're on another phase of developing the game, I will be more open to this kind of idea. They should be for sure doable. They should be something that I can manage. I don't want to give out there something to someone that it's official without putting my flavors on it, because I'm having so much fun to do it by myself. But I would love to have Cherry in some of this beat 'em up game, and she can beat the shit out of the other characters with a chainsaw or with a gauntlet or with other crazy weapons. Why not? I would love to have that.
It looks like maybe the game is called Fraymakers potentially.
Maybe, yeah, maybe
And it said
Frame.
they
Yeah,
just added Hat Kit actually. I'm
yeah,
not I'm
yeah,
not familiar, but I've seen some of the other fighting games that have done that too. One of them had Shovel Knight in that, and the guys from Blaster Master,
yes,
and yeah, so it's definitely, I think a lot of other indies, they tend to work together with that stuff. Excuse me.
yeah,
So I think it's definitely possible, but it just comes down to, again, you have a lot of work ahead of you. So
yeah.
I think something like that would be a great collaborative effort, because it wouldn't be something that you would directly be doing yourself. You'd be kind of sharing that, almost like the licensing of Cherry into another medium, essentially.
Yeah, plus underneath the funny side of it, there is the underground world of contract, of licensing, of IPs. I think that for starting that, you need to go through a process of IP that it should be weird, long, and it's a pain. That is the part that it's a pain in the ass when you're doing game, but it's the basic for doing something.
Right.
So
The
yeah,
fact that you
yeah.
get to that point is, it would be cool to just even get to that point to have that discussion.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
the best way to kind of beat around that, I think you've played around with it a little bit in the game, is Easter eggs. You
yeah,
kind of pay your respect and your homage without directly infringing upon, you know,
yeah.
because I mean, I've teased to you offline, but the hope and the goal is to kind of have an Easter egg in my upcoming comic book for a certain
Uh-huh.
character that I am obsessed with, without getting sued by a certain Stefano.
No, I will never sue you, my man. But you need to pray for me not getting sued by Nintendo, because those are the people that I like to fuck with the most. I really like to annoy Nintendo and to go borderline to defamation stuff. I put some more Easter eggs lately in the game. I think that in the next patch there is another Easter eggs with a
Uh oh.
Nintendo character. I don't know. I really like to fuck with them until some days maybe I will be in jail, but that will be a lot of good publicity for my game. The creator of Cookie Cutter is in jail.
I mean, listen, I think it's funny because I have another artist that I work closely with over the years that a lot of their art goes in that direction. I'll share offline because a lot of it's very inappropriate, but it's just funny, like it's one of those things, like, do you feel like you've made it when you've gotten their attention, or other publishers that are very protective of their, look,
Yeah,
I get it. I get the protection, especially back to the AI thing, the common fair use in a lot of people's eyes is using AI to make funny videos of
yeah,
existing IPs.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It's tough because some people do it for fun, some people are monetizing and making
That's
money, and
it.
that's the break, in the chain there, in my
That,
opinion.
that's it. That's it. And we even have to say that I'm still surprised about a lot of people who didn't understand, or they totally don't understand at all what I'm trying to say. I don't do this thing because I hate those people. I didn't put Toby Fox in the game because I hate the guy and I want to diss him. I love that guy. I love Undertale. Just that I'm having a communication with this game that is stupid, that is punk, that is provocation, because I like this shit. I really love this shit. I'm a street kid. I grew up in this way, and this is the way where I am in real life. And when I'm doing a video game that represents me and my partners, we're doing it in the way that it sounds like us. So when I'm putting an Easter eggs about Nintendo, except for when I was roasting them because they put down the publicity of my game. For the entire rest, all of the Easter eggs, even the one when it were looking like a dissing, they were a tribute. I put time, I put love, I put effort in those things. To have Toby Fox in the game as Phoebe Talks with his own stupid quest that it ends in the way that it ends in the game, that is really weird. It's not a roasting, you know. I love that guy, but because I'm talking inside this contest that is called Cookie Cutter, that got this narrative, I will use that narrative to do this homage to people, you know. Nothing more than that. I don't hate nobody. um, Otherwise I should put there are a lot of things that I hate in real world, like politics or stupid, really horrible public figures, and I don't want that in my game. This is imagination, this is love, this is passion. I don't want that dirty real shit in this beautiful thing, you know. And when again I put things in this beautiful things and this art piece, I will do it with a lot of love, even if I roast it, you know. And
I
it's
mean, yeah.
weird that I still find people that doesn't understand it, because it's a common thing nowadays.
Well, I think it comes with a lot of how you approach the medium, and I think that ingesting the medium as intended, which is just playing the game and experiencing it, that it depends on how you go in. And I think some people kind of go in with a certain expectation. I
Yeah,
can't speak for any experience directly, but
yeah,
my thought is when you have genres that are very um, the spotlight's on them, and a lot of people make a lot of games that fall under that because they hope in most cases is like, if I make a Metroidvania, I'm going to get that audience. I
yeah,
don't think your intention was that. I think your intention was your inspiration came from that, but you took it and did it in your own way.
yeah,
But the people that come in looking for that and
yeah,
don't see what, they don't see an Alucard. They don't see, a certain visibility, a certain art style, a certain main protagonist,
yeah,
that is going to divide them from the moment they see it. And
yeah,
then some of them are just more vocal than others. And I think that that's always, you can't please everybody. But again, we live in a world where you were clever enough to not only come up with a name that just really has a solid meaning and also goes against its name in itself, because the game is not cookie cutter, it's far from it,
yeah,
but it fits what your overall goal and vision here is. But again, it's that battle that you have day to day with the community, which is you're just going to have people that have nothing else better to do and come out and just be like, she's gay, she's this, she doesn't look hot, why does she have a skirt, why does she talk dirty, why is the side of her head shaved? It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
yeah,
um there are other games out there that are falling under the same pressure, as you got the team that's making, forgive me if I mistaken, but I believe the team that made Uncharted, they're
oh
making like
yeah.
this post futuristic crazy game,
And
but
it's
they're
awesome. It look awesome with a great main character. Fuck you, people. You're boring. Fuck you. That it's a great character. It's kicking ass. She is not beautiful. Go jacking off with something. Go outside and talk with a real girl. You fucking weirdo. She's woke. Oh, jeez.
I mean, again, that's the sad world that we're always going to live in, and people take things for face value. Like you see a trailer, it's not appealing, that's the end of it. And
And that it's
move,
not a
move aside. Wait,
the trailer is amazing, dude. It's
dude,
amazing.
the Akira inspiration, the Cowboy Bebop inspiration. There's so much to love. And again, I think a big part of it too is as we get older, some of us we get a little bitter, and I'm definitely bitter with certain
Yeah, yeah.
things. You know
I'm
what I
bitter.
mean?
I'm bitter.
I'm bitter with like Zelda, where I'm like, that's not my Zelda.
Yeah, yeah. Me
Like
too.
I want Ocarina of Time. I don't want wilderness. No
No,
music. But
no, no.
again,
Boring.
it's not. You can't please us forever.
No, no,
So
no,
if you have a niche, you have a vibe, you have something that you want, that you love. If you've played it before, go back and play it again. You know,
not my Zelda.
I mean, Tyler has no love for the new Zeldas. I at least played the last two, but like yeah, I'm bitter because it's not what I grew up loving, and that's again, but again, that's okay. You
It's
know,
okay. It's
like
entertaining media. There's a lot of it out there. I don't like one. Let's keep to the next one, you know?
there's
It's
something
not.
for everybody. I think
There's
that
something for everybody.
if we all took 5% of our brain to just be tolerant of variety and diversity when let's just keep it simple in the world of games. You don't have to talk. This is not a real talk. Just
Yeah.
you don't like it, you move on. I think about when I grew up, I watched TV. You know how much
Yeah.
shit was on TV that I didn't
Yeah.
care about? What did I do? I changed the channel. I moved on with my
Yeah.
life. I wasn't sitting, oh, can you believe what was on channel 69 the other day? There's some freaking stupid ass TV. Bro, I didn't even give it a second. I just moved on with my life. Like, we waste so much energy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I am a heavy set guy that sits at his desk working a day job and doing all my stuff. I could be more moving around, but I spend more energy trying to convince people that it's okay to not like something.
Yeah.
This is just the world is divided, and
Yeah.
that's we
Yeah.
won't get into that because it just ties into people are talking. And
Yeah.
that's the key here. You're getting people engaging. They're interested in hating or they're interested in loving it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and and you've done an excellent job at doing just that. You know what I
Thank
mean?
you, man.
So I will always fight the battle of saying that outside of you and your team and your wife, like I am your number one fan. And so but I will always be honest with you. And I've always told you, like, we had that tough talk when we first met and how like my experience wasn't great in the beginning. But
Yeah.
that's okay. Because
Yeah.
look at
Dude.
the journey that not only your team had, look at the journey I had. I went from not like questioning, like but also seeing the potential and
Yeah.
knowing that there was so much more because I know that putting out something and then you kind of have I don't know if you second guessed it, but like me, I'd be like, "Ugh, did I really put out the best that I could put out? Like shit, you know. I can, if you don't mind, I could tell you just a little bit of experience on my end with the Cecil.
Yeah.
I was doing voice acting work, but I was brought on as the creative director uh, right before launch into post launch, and I dealt with those pain points of putting out a product at launch, knowing we were not ready, but we
Uh-huh.
had we had obligations, and we had to
Mm-hmm.
put it out. So we put it
Mm-hmm.
out, and what happened? You got hit with the it's crashing. It's not this. It's not that. It's not what I
Yeah.
want. Refund this. Refund that. Steam. Not
Yeah.
happy. What did we do? We went into we didn't want to go into reactive mode, but I came in like with this already developed in a sense, and I'm like, let me beta test. Let me take the time. Let me be a player, but also part of the team, and be honest on what we can fix.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
tough.
yeah, it is because I went and played the game 5 times. I wasn't in the development cycle, so it's a very unique situation. But again, we went in with the critical aspect of we want this to be as important as we can make it with the resources we had, and we went and patched that game 2 times within a month and had it where it needed to be. But it's one of those things where you lost a lot of people already. People
Oh,
gave up that initial you can't win them all, but it's what you do to maintain. It's what you do, the integrity. Um, little side thing. I won't go into deep. There was a contest that was had for this game to celebrate the launch that was not ran by us. Um, Winners were announced. Things went quiet. People asked, "What's going on?" We took the initiative to take care of those people
uh-huh.
because they took the time. They took the time to play the
Yeah.
game. They took the game and enjoyed it. So that's a bonus,
Yeah.
like we're going out of our own pocket and we invested in giving back to those people that put that time and that dedication
Uh-huh.
because people made promises they couldn't keep, and that's okay. But you know you are one of those people that's why we resonate, I think, so much, because if you were in that situation, you'd do the same thing. You'd go out of your own pocket and you would make it work because you know how important one new player to your game can
Yeah.
change your overall experience and how you feel as a creator. And, you know, to me, it's a remarkable moment that you can look back at almost 2 years now of a game that's been out there, that you have some of the most dedicated fans I've seen. I see when you post, I see the reactions, I read it because I'm in it. It's not I'm not in it, but I'm in it. So like
Yeah.
I know when people give a shit so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it ladies and gentlemen, it is the hardest thing to be a creator, to pour your heart and soul out, to get blasted from people that have not been around, that just got introduced. It's like you having a table at a convention. Somebody walks by, the fuck is that? You don't know because you just walk past and don't give a fuck, you know. But that's like the TV, right?
Yeah.
You can change quick and move
Yeah.
on.
And you go
But
somewhere else.
that's all you need to do. Like you can
Yep.
say, "What the fuck is that?" Great. I'm glad you have that opinion. You took a second to look. Move on
Yeah.
with your life. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Plus,
So
I'm here. I'm here. If yeah, I agree with you, and you did good because that guy, those guy, they did the contest for you, and they didn't receive a prize back or anything back. It's vicious to leave them without nothing after you promise something. But it's even not a matter of we're developers and you're the customers. It's a matter of human being. You spend your time doing something for me. I promise you something. Now I should be a good person and and do what I promised to you. At least it's human decency at that point. Yeah, I think it's, I don't know, I think you did good.
thank you again, and that you're doing an awesome job too. And I think that as long as the fans support and work with you and are willing to wait, just wait a little longer, everybody.
Yep.
I I think it's gonna be worth the wait, and there's gonna be so much good stuff coming. I can't wait. I want more content. I want a reason to revisit it on my PS5, since even though I'm playing it on Switch now, but I want more. So you've been drawing. I will have to wrap it up in a little bit. I apologize because I got to get back to the gig, but you've been doing a lot of drawing. You've been doing like almost comic book art in a
Uh-huh.
sense. You're doing little like scripts and teases of stuff.
Yeah, because I was stuck this summer. I was in Sicily and I was stuck because I couldn't work at the game, but I still feel the stupid urge to do things about the game. And there were some things that I said, okay, let's take out some illustration. Later they become like comic book because I need to say something and I need those characters to say something to me. So I used Cookie Cutter as a vessel for that, and I did something even for the community, and people appreciated it. And I had fun. I had fun. I was working with the tablet while I was everywhere at concert, at parties. I was with the tablet drawing and
It's
having
awesome.
fun.
So listen, before we close out, I'd like to throw a suggestion at you.
Yeah,
You could take this offline, no pressure. And I'm
yeah,
curious to see, if people would engage with this, but I think seeing other artists be successful with it. Have you thought about taking time? You could do like maybe once a month. You do like a live stream where you do maybe either um, Whatnot. I don't know if you're familiar with the app Whatnot. It's like an eBay kind of site where you
mm-hmm,
could do a live stream
mm-hmm,
and you can auction off
mm-hmm,
hand drawn drawings, little
mm-hmm.
illustrations that you can do on the fly. Doesn't have to be a massive illustration. You can have art that you maybe had already printed, and you could raise some money to help cover the costs that are going into everything that you're doing. Because at the end of the day, reminder everybody, when we're doing this ourselves, we're doing this ourselves. And you know I think that you and I have always talked about cookie cutter merch, you know
Yeah,
and I think that that's something that you love to draw. You
yeah,
draw, you do it natively, and that could be a cool way for you to kind of raise some money and get fans engaged and give them something that they can have physical, tangible. Just a
yeah.
thought. But
That's really cool, but I'm not chasing the money, even if the money I need the money to continue working at the game, but I'm chasing the vision. I want to do the game. So if the game it will be unable from now in the future to sustain itself alone by me doing the game, I don't want to do, other activities to support this, because I
Makes
already got a job. I can take whatever job I want. Now I'm in the industry more than 10 years. I'm good with 3D, I'm good with 2D, I'm good with animation, with rigging. So if Cookie Cutter needs to go on because I want him to go on. And if I need to, not only if I want it to go on, but I need the money, as I said before. But I want the money coming out of the game. I don't want to do external activity to do this. I can do the marketing, but it's not the right time. I think that to start marketing, I need the game to be more known out there. Right now, I want to focus. I know how I can improve the game, and I would like to work on that, just for the journey, just for the vision. If one day I will crash it and everything will go shit because there's no money anymore, nobody's interested in the game. Fuck that. I had fun. Maybe I will start something else. Maybe no. Maybe I will start making the ice cream man in Malaysia. I don't know, but at the
sense.
moment, I want to chase the vision. I want to chase the game. I want to find the best gameplay mechanic for the game to make it funnier, to make the game be able to tell a story in a better way. All of these things. This is what I'm passionate about. I don't want to do other things about it to support the game. I want to do the game.
Well said. And
Or,
I,
or, or
yeah,
I put the game. If the game fail at some point, I start making comics if I want to, because again, I have the will to continue working on the life of this character. There are so many things I
comic,
can.
you say?
Yeah, yeah, I can do that. I can do.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
There's so many things we can do, but at the moment, again, I want to do the game. This is what I want to do. I want to improve it. I want to continue. Let's see.
No, that's the right move. And I again, I commend you so much for sticking with it. That was just my 2 cents. And, again, we all do things differently. And I know how hard it is to do what you're doing. So thank you for sticking with it. Thank you for being loyal to yourself as a creator, but loyal to your fans and everybody that's willing to give the game a chance. So,
Thank you, Benny, for all of the love, man. You always supports me, man. Thank you so fucking much. You give me so much time every time, so much space. Really, thank you, my man. Really, really.
no, it's my pleasure as always. I don't mean to cut it short, everybody, but I appreciate everybody's time, and we will always be willing to do this anytime. Maybe when we get to that next achievement, the next release, we can always reconnect. But you are always welcome on the show, as always, just to shoot the shit. And, we can talk about anything. Everybody for watching. We hope you have a great day. And remember to take care, have fun. Bye, everybody.